guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah Sutton. I'm an indie author of 6 young adult romance books, and today we're talking about this one right here. Well, we're not really going to be talking about it, we're going to be reading it. If you are a new subscriber, don't forget to tap that subscribe button, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. I'm not really done up in today's video. I'm trying to give my skin a little bit of a break from no makeup, so that's why I kind of just look like we're chilling today, because we're chilling today. We're going to be reading today. So back in October when we were celebrating If the Broom Fits' 1-year anniversary, I decided I wanted to do like a reading vlog because I hadn't read it in so long. And the same holds true for What Are Friends For. What Are Friends For turns 2 years old today. It turns 2. So 2 years ago, I published this book. I published my very first book, and it's crazy to think that how far we've come. We're 6 books under our belt now, and actually today the ebook is on sale. It is free today. I've never had a free sale before, so if you really want to read this book, the ebook, it's free. That's wild to me. I've never set a book to free, so I'm a little scared. We're still in the future. I don't know how it's gonna go. It's fine. But today I'm going to be reading through What Are Friends For and giving my like general reactions and sharing a little like some snippets and tidbits because it's fun. And you know, you can read it with me because it's free on Amazon. So go download it and then, you know, read it with me. I will say I am not a booktuber, so reading vlogs aren't really my forte. I really don't know what you're supposed to do in a reading vlog other than read and discuss, which is what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, I'm going to start off here because I feel like the first page reactions will be good, and then we'll probably move to bed, move to the chair. I'm going to be binging this all in like one day, so yeah, RIP my writing. I actually have this first page printed out. If you've ever noticed behind me in my vlogs, there's that little like book page blanket pinned up on the wall. It's actually the first page of What Are Friends For. I thought it would be really fun to have the first page of my first book like printed on a blanket because I had like a free blanket from like collage.com. It was free and I'm like, you know what? I might as well take advantage of it and put a book page on the blanket. Like, I feel like I have this first page memorized now. Life or death decisions were made in the underwear store. Yeah, same. You know, it's kind of funny. So when I first published this book, I got a lot of people saying that they would never bring their best friend into an underwear store. And technically it's more of a department store in the underwear section. But I had a lot of people saying that they would never do that. Like, that's just so weird. Who would do that? And I'm like, not me. I would never do that. I mean, it was one time and it wasn't weird, okay? It wasn't weird in the slightest. We were in the department store. We wandered over to the underwear section. I looked at underwear. He looked at underwear. It wasn't weird. I mean, I guess I can see how it could be, but we were so utterly platonic. We were like painfully platonic. And it was not weird for either one of us. And that's kind of how I envisioned this scene. But I can completely understand how that might not translate to everybody. I just thought it was funny because I remember that was a huge point of contention for some people. Please do not try to tell me that I have better taste in women's underwear than your best friend. Aw, poor Elijah. Yes, you do. You should put it on your resume. You really should, Elijah. You really should. Oh. That was stupid. So this is the paragraph that I read, okay? Elijah Grayback and I had been friends since the 3rd grade when his parents packed him and his brother up and hauled them nearly 200 miles across the country. The best decision of the Graybacks' lives. It was, at least, the best decision that had happened to mine. And then I said, "Aw." And then literally the next line says, cue the aw sound effect. I feel like I wrote this catered to me as a reader, because as a reader I obviously went aw, and that was what I was supposed to do. Okay, cool. Oh, this makes me miss them. This makes me really miss them. Elijah Grayback, after all these years of friendship and mall trips, did you actually memorize my bra size? Now, see, my best friend never did that, so to be quite honest, I love how this book ties into Two Kinds of Us. And honestly, it wasn't intentional. Like, for the most part, it wasn't intentional. I just love how it kind of just like wraps it up. It takes that loose thread and it just ties it up, you know? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should read What Are Friends For and Two Kinds of Us, and then you'll know. Also, if you've read Two Kinds of Us, you should leave a review because it's at 59 reviews. It's so close to 60. Okay, is it weird that I'm like super much so enjoying my writing in this? It feels like an actual book. I think it's because it's been so long since I've read it, like that I have last read it like writing wise. I think it's because it's been so long that this feels like a legitimate book, and it makes my heart so happy, okay? It makes my heart so happy. We have since moved to the bed because my legs got cold. I also forgot that Remy broke Elijah's nose. I don't remember writing that, but I mean, okay, you go, Remy. I mean, it was on accident, but I wonder how many things there are going to be that I'm like, oh, I wrote that? I really wonder. Maybe we should make a count. That's one thing already, right? Oh my gosh, why are they so perfect? It's not okay, okay? It's not okay. Makes me feel very single. A little bit of reflection. This time last year, I actually debuted this new cover. This was not the original publication cover. Now I'll put the original cover up on the screen right here. And I remember being so nervous because there was a lot of debate about like which cover people liked better. But I really wanted to do it this way because I wanted this book, because at the time, Out of My League and If the Brim Fits were published, and then Can't Catch My Breath was about to be published. And so this book with this cover was the only odd one out, and I really wanted it to match in the series since they are part of a series. So I changed the cover. I am so freaking happy. You know, I'm just gonna put it on the screen here. I'm so freaking happy with how it looks and how everything is just cohesive now. But it's funny to think about, like, this time last year, I did a new cover. That's just weird to me. I'm at the good part. Or like the, if you know, you know. It's in chapter 4? Yep, 4. The transition from chapter 4 to chapter 5, I swear, it gets me every time, guys. I wrote it. I literally wrote it. But it gets me every time. Oh, you have a smudge. I love it. I love this. Full transparency, I am on I'm on chapter 8, I think. Chapter 8. I have spotted 2 inconsistencies that we are making notes on to go back and fix. They're really small, but like little lines. Like this one says, I saw Jeremy over at your house yesterday. Well, no, sir. Jeremy was over at her house on Friday. So, Jeremy over at... And then the other one was like, Remy hasn't ridden in the truck since Terry got arrested. But she had. That was mentioned. Inconsistencies are going to happen. You know, things are going to happen. Things are going to slip through because, you know, however many times you read something over, your brain connects the dots. So, I'm not beating myself up about it. It is what it is. They're very small, you know, and it's not like they affect the entire plot as a whole. But we're on chapter 8, chugging along. So far, I'm just like really loving just diving back in with all these characters. It has been way too long since I've read this book. It's been, I think I read it when I was writing Elijah's point of view. I don't remember what month that was. January of 2021, I think. Maybe. So a year. I've missed this. I missed them. And it's kind of, I mean, well, honestly, it's not really bringing back up memories of when I wrote it because I don't remember writing What Are Friends For. Like, I don't remember the process behind writing it. I think just because so much has happened, I've written so much since, I just don't remember the process very well. I remember the beta process because that was the first time I've ever used like actual betas from people on the internet. Actually, that's a lie. I don't remember if Out of My League came first or What Are Friends For came first for betas. That's the thing. Like, some of these things are just like kind of blending together, which is weird because I wouldn't have thought they would, because this is my first book. You'd think I would remember. I genuinely don't remember some things. So like I don't remember the whole process behind it, which is weird. It's weird. So that just kind of makes rereading it a whole lot more special, because it feels like I'm just like coming back to it, you know, and it's been so long and I've forgotten a lot of things. So it's just really exciting and fun. Rereading books you wrote, I honestly, I think I definitely cringe at some spots because I'm like, oh man, I wrote that. That's a cringy line or something like that. But I feel like it's also kind of fun. It's like a little time capsule, you know, like I was a different person when I wrote this book. I was just starting my publishing career when I published this book. So it's just fun to see how far I've come. And I'm still proud of this book. I'm proud of every book that I write, but this one I'm super proud of. And it's just really nice to dive back into rereading it. So my reading vlog fell apart because I ended up getting sick that night. So I thought I would come back and do a screen recording and show you guys the very first page from the very first draft of What Are Friends For? Or the very first chapter, depending on how cringy the first page is. If I am remembering correctly, it's pretty cringy. I don't remember it like fully, but I remember thinking, ooh, I want it to be like quirky, and so I didn't want to, you'll see, but from what, if I'm remembering correctly, it's pretty bad. Okay, cool, we're screen recording. This is all of my writing documents. You can see this is not a writing document, but it's there. A lot of this, like these things, like this, that's from high school. That's from high school. That's from high school. I don't know why they're in here, but they are. So we have a lot of things on here that you guys are probably like, oh, what is this evil twin book? I honestly cannot recall either. So it's fine, all the NaNoWriMos, but what we're going to go to is we're going to go to the What Are Friends For? And I don't think any of these are the first draft. I think the first draft is in Remy's book. I think it's this one, but we're going to look. Get info. April 3rd, 2019. That sounds about right. Because what else? I think, because I wouldn't have named anything. Everything else is like, it has like not the correct name at first. I don't know why I don't put like draft 1, but I don't. So I think it's this one. Okay. I always get like people asking me to react to my writing. Guys, it's not good. It makes me cringe, okay? I'm doing this for you. Anyway, this draft had ended up at 222 words with almost 65,000 words. And I think that's kind of close to where it ended up finally. Oh, fudge. Oh, look, I did little numbers. That's funny. Oh, fudge. Fudge. I know what's coming. And it's not even that bad, but it's enough to make me go, oh, I wrote that. You know, I was reading something, side note, I was reading something I wrote initially, like previously, and it was so bad. It was so bad. And I'm like, this is like, I don't know, only a few months before I wrote What Are Friends For? So like, it shouldn't be this bad. But then again, remembering this, it's bad. Okay. I looked up and down the west hallway of Greenville High, searching for a shock of blonde hair and an even brighter lime green backpack. No dice. Someone bumped into my shoulder from behind, jarring me forward a step. Normally, I would have snapped back at Mr. Pushy over here. That's, over there, should have been. Declaring an eloquent excuse you, but I was on a mission. Find the green backpack. So one of the facts that stayed in was that Elijah does have a green backpack. That's kind of fun. Oh, please. Oh, please. I don't want to get that. Oh, okay. Miss Beaufort, a voice called, breaking my focus, causing me to whirl around. If you read my books, you will know. Whirl is something that I find myself including every time. It's not on purpose. I whirl around. It's like I don't really know what else to use, but I'm working on it. We're trying to do better. The hem of my skirt tickled my thighs as I stumbled. That sounds really weird. Tickles your thighs? You passed my door by mistake. No, by mistake. Fudge, what the heck? You passed my door by mistake, I assume. Mr. Valdez stood in front of the open door like some sort of troll, watching everyone who passed over his bridge. Doesn't really quite make sense. Kind of looked like one, too. He assumed wrong, but I wasn't about to tell him that. I mean, obviously, I'm sure he knows that it sounded like a sarcastic kind of statement. I assume, yeah, whatever. Like a deer stuck in headlights, I froze. Solid. Another kid bumped into me. Under the freezing glare of man Medusa, I stammered. That's kind of funny. Bathroom. He didn't seem entertained by my lapse in sanity. Bathroom? Come on, Miss Buford, before the bell rings and you get a tardy. Now I was freezing for a whole other reason. I couldn't get another tardy. Another tardy equaled 4 tardies, and that equaled detention. And if I got another detention, I was dead. Or worse, grounded. Yeah, another detention. That was a whole other conversation. So I switched ears, plastering on a look of distress and pressing my palms to my abdomen. I was stooping low. I was stooping low. I knew that, but this was important. Mr. Valdez, it's, a feminine emergency. I hate it. I hate that I did that. I hate that so much. And in later drafts, I freaking changed it to like, Mr. Valdez, it was burrito day. So this is what y'all are subjecting me to. Okay, so we have to at least read until we get to Elijah. Miss Buford, his face darkened to a lovely shade of mortification. I've used that somewhere. I don't know which book I used it in. A lovely shade of mortification sounds way too familiar. She just says, I have to run to my locker, to the bathroom, and then I'll be there. 5 minutes, it's an emergency. Ooh, I groaned. That should have been a period. Pressing my fingers against the hem of my skirt, internally, I winced, hoping my face didn't look as hot as it felt. That was probably overkill, but too late now. It's so embarrassing. You're so embarrassing. I didn't waste any time to thank him. Turning on my heel, I jogged down the now empty-ish hallway, my flat sounding like heels smacking off the linoleum floor, eyes looking around wildly. I passed underneath a banner advertising the snowflake dance covered with stupid little snowmen and snowflakes. If I were him, where would I be? The answer was so painfully obvious, I almost smacked myself in the forehead. She's so silly. Pulling a hard left to the main hall, I made a beeline for the art department. The room was tucked in the back section of the school, as far away from Mr. Valdez's classroom as it could be. I only frequented it when I had to, which was during 4th period. I wasn't overly sporty, but art was not my thing. Maybe that's why I was failing the stupid class. Don't think about it. I keep trying to do it dramatic. I can't. Don't think about your failure now. Okay. But the thing is, like, that's a plot hole, because where is she coming from? Like, what class is she coming from to want to go find Elijah, We'll get to it. The chalk-smelling art room sat empty except for one boy sitting on a metal stool in the far corner, his back turned towards the doorway. His head of blonde hair tilted over whatever was in front of him. On one of the tables behind him was a lime green backpack. It made sense that he was here. His last slot of the day was free period, but he wasn't allowed to leave school grounds yet. Finding him here, tucked away from everyone else, made perfect sense. Wouldn't you love to have a free period? I never had them. Gosh, I let out a breath. Of all places, you had to be here. Oh, I said gosh. I'm sure people find God in a lot of places. This is so cringe. Cringe! He responded evenly, not turning around. I thought I wasn't recording for a second. Lord! There was a humming sound coming from the corner, and as I stepped closer, I saw that he had on a dirty, tanned apron. Dirty is like the wrong word, or maybe I need to elaborate on why it's dirty. Otherwise, it sounds like he has some nasty clothes on. Why is the art room surprising? I had no idea how much time I had left on Mr. Valdez's clock. I'm sure he's not counting. I'm sure as soon as you mentioned feminine emergency, he was probably like, okay, fine. Go ahead. This is where I was trying to be. I remember writing it, and I thought, oh my gosh, yes, this is brilliant. I'm going to phrase things in a way that makes it sound like they're a couple, or it makes it sound like they're going to do other things. But then in chapter 2, they're going to go shopping. Yeah, so yeah, we're going to read this, and I fully freaking understand how stupid it sounds, how flirty it sounds. Oh, it's so crazy how far you can come as a writer in such a short amount of time, but I understand that this is going to be bad. Now, oh, here we go. I walked up behind. Why does she do this? With a stitch in my side. Why a stitch? She didn't elaborate. I walked up behind him, laying my hands on the tops of his shoulders. I need you. Sounds so, oh my gosh. Now that I was closer, I could see, didn't I just use that line? And as I stepped closer, that's what I used. Now that I was closer, I could see that there was a clay wheel in front of him, and he had his hands wrapped around a lump of grayish-brown clay. Oh gosh. No. Elijah. Yep, I did it. I invoked his full name. Oh my gosh, the camera battery's flashing. We're gonna go through this quick. I'm serious. Yeah, and I was serious when I said I wasn't gonna do it again. Yeah, and then, oh my, I gave his shoulders a squeeze. Come on, you've got to admit it's fun. You can see what I was trying to go for here. I don't even know why, but now I know. Elijah snorted, lifting his foot from the pedal at his feet. In response, the wheel started to slow its turning until it eventually stopped. It didn't pull away. Man, that would have been a long time. Them sitting, waiting for the wheel to stop turning, unless it was going at slow speed in the first place. He still didn't pull away, but rather kept his hands over the clay. Fun, huh? Not the word I'd use. Oh, Eli, I said again, channeling my inner puppy dog and glazing over my eyes. Okay. In my one final attempt, I reached a hand out and pushed his hair from his eyes, tucking the locks behind his ear. Just one more time, I promise. I need this. Oh my gosh, I swear to God. Finally, he lifted as dark as morning coffee he drank. Well, that's weird. If I do this, immediately my lips broke into a grin, but he started shaking his head, trying to discourage me. If I do this is the last time. I mean it, Buford. Find someone else. I wasn't going to point out that he'd said the same thing before. This is also, yes, Buford used to be her nickname, not Beanie. And Lord, I'm so glad I changed it to Beanie. I don't know why I used Buford as a last name in the first place. Instead, I leaned forward and smacked my lips against the top of his forehead, making sure to make the sound obnoxious. Girl, who kisses their best friend's foreheads? Like, normally. Is that not weird? I don't do that. So for me, it's weird. But if you do that, it's not weird. It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry. You're the absolute bestest. My steps felt lighter as my mood began to change, excited for what lay ahead of me. Elijah leaned back in his seat, using the rag in his lap to wipe at his hairline. Yeah, I better be the bestest. What, did she turn back around to see him do that? Because her steps felt lighter, so she's walking away. Guys, plot holes. Anyway, they're going shopping. But what class is she coming from that she feels so panicked and needs to talk to Elijah? I had assumed it was art. But if he's in the art room, she didn't come from the art room and is searching for him because she knows he would have been there. Unless he'd set up in the 2 minutes that her class got out. Plot holes in draft 1. What? Plot holes don't belong in draft 1. Wow. Okay, guys. I had a time and a half trying to set up this stream. This is technically a stream. I'm on StreamYard. This is going to be the outro for today's video. I had a time and a half trying to set it up. I'm going to include some bloopers in because I find them hilarious. You might not. It might not be funny to anybody else but me, but I was dying. That's why I still have like tears in my eyes. I was just dying. Why is it doing this? Better? No. Hello? This isn't funny. Why am I like... What's going on? What? Why? I'm just trying to record an outro, okay? I tried to do a reading vlog. I got sick, and then I ran out of time to be able to read. So, you get half of a reading vlog, and then at the end, we talked about that cringy first chapter of the very first draft of What Are Friends For. Let me know if I should do that again for Can't Catch My Breath, because that book's 1 year is actually coming up in 2 weeks. So let me know if I should do one for Can't Catch My Breath as well. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. What Are Friends For is now free on Amazon. Go check it it out today. It's free all weekend. And if you read it, please don't forget to leave a rating or review, because ratings and reviews help out authors a ton. And the link to go get your copy is down in the description. Thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And I have been Sarah Sutton. I have been Sarah Sutton for a very long time now, but at this video, I was Sarah Sutton. I'm an indie author of 6 young adult romance books. Catch you guys next time. That felt really weird. Bye, guys.